We actually have a question this time, a real live
Genuine
question from somebody, not just questions that Joe's made up. This is a question from Jolene. So this is from Richard McDonald. Hello Richard, and thank you very much for asking a question. Richard is a landlord, well done first of all, and wants to know top tips on the first steps to move into social housing, particularly around contacts, strategies, etc. This is actually a question that we get asked quite a lot. The first question I ask back is, why would you want to get into social housing? That's probably what I would ask. Usually if they come back and say, because I want to make a difference to people, I'll go fantastic, and we go into the sort of social housing route. If you want to go into it to make more money or to have a less involvement or to get a passive income, it probably isn't the right route, is what I'd say. If you want to do it for the right reasons and you think that it's something that you're really interested in, how would you recommend starting, Dean?
Probably think about from where you are, Richard, in terms of your landlord experience. So we don't know what sort of landlord you are. You might be sizable with a large portfolio. It might be just your first sort of buy-to-let or your first property. But think about how much you want to do within that space. So there are sort of sub-strategies within the social housing sphere that require less input, some require more. So it's probably worth thinking about your personal situation in terms of the time that you've got to commit. Like Gavin said, there can be a fair amount of time required to kind of build the relationships, understand the industry, get yourself into a position where you can kind of execute those strategies. It is a harder route to entry, a harder market to enter than conventional landlording. So secondly, I would think about, have you got a particular passion for a type of cohort, for want of a better, is that the right word? Cohort? People, for a type of person that you want to help. Any particular experience or passion for homelessness or domestic violence or any of the subjects that we've talked about on the catch-ups? If you have, that helps because it just gives you some clarity of where to start those conversations. Then it's about finding contacts that you can talk to learn a bit more about requirements. If you wanted to adopt our approach, it would be to be very open book. What would you say though, May? Your position in local authorities, previously with charities, a new landlord comes to you, how would you want a new landlord to approach you if you were building a housing service?
I guess it depends what someone thinks they mean by social housing, but like you say, whether you want to be a kind of volume provider, I suppose, like some of the housing associations are very, very big providers now, or whether you want to be more in the kind of support housing realm, you can provide quite small units or shared units with smaller organisations, and that might be an easier route for an individual owner, because they could talk to one charity or one small organisation rather than thinking of a sort of bigger. Like I say, it depends on the portfolio, doesn't it? But I think that might be a better fit for an individual or a small number of people with a smallish portfolio.
That's a good point. So, Richard, let us know what the situation is, and how many properties you've got, and we can maybe be a bit more specific about that.
May's point though, if you are a large, I think there's something in this. If you're a large buy-to-let portfolio landlord, so let's say you've got 10 properties, and you're at the point where you want to do something in terms of a give back, just rent one to somebody in receipt of housing benefit or somebody on a waiting list. If you've got that position where you haven't got to be all about the money and all about the strength of return, and you're fortunate enough to be in that position, then what can you do to just rebalance that social sphere and provide something for somebody, or give them a discount, or do something more sustainable for people? So you could just benefit the social housing economy by choosing a different tenant, really.